Is a notable contributor to that, and USAF or Special Operations Command has an example of the Bell Boeing CV22B Osprey tilt rotor in the static park. Here's one coming in for its flying display. And if I'm not very much mistaken, even a little bit of condensation over the Osprey's upper surfaces there as it pulled up.
I think also if you look very carefully, you may well see some bubbles coming off of the rotors themselves.
Very definitely indeed. This is a machine that is well known for generating some interesting atmospheric effects. This is neither a fixed-wing aircraft nor a helicopter. It is a tilt rotor, and that we'll see demonstrated over the course of a spirited roll demonstration by this airplane, which comes to us from the 7th Special Operations Squadron of the US Air Force, part of the 352nd Special Operations Wing, based at RAF Mildenhall in Suffolk. That's where it's flown in from today, and that's where it'll be departing to at the end of its slot. The idea is to combine something of the flexibility of the helicopter, particularly in terms of operating into confined spaces, with the higher speeds and longer range of a fixed-wing aircraft. And here we see the transition from aeroplane to helicopter mode, as it were, commencing. Those big engine pods, which were in the horizontal position, now moving to about an 80-degree angle, and this will allow the Osprey to perform a very short rolling landing. Those engines, a pair of Rolls-Royce Allison AE1107C turboshafts of over 6,200 shaft horsepower each. This is a type that's currently in service with both the United States Marine Corps and, as here, the US Air Force. The Marine Corps that brought it into operational service first in 2005. It was in January 2007 that the US Air Force Special Operations Command did likewise with the version we see here, the CV22B. This with an aircraft that first flew on the 19th of March 1989. The Osprey is able to transport 24 combat troops, some 20,000 pounds of internal cargo, or externally slung loads of up to 15,000 pounds. A very, very short tactical takeoff there. Timing equaling out. The Osprey program, as I said, a joint venture between Bell and Boeing. Boeing builds fuselage and all the subsystems, digital avionics and the fly-by-wire control systems. Bell provides the wing, transmissions, the empennage, the rotor systems and the engine installation. In US Air Force service, the CV22B that we see here performs long-range missions in support of US Special Operations Command forces. It infiltrates those forces into combat zones, it resupplies them while they're on the ground, and it exfiltrates them at the end of the operation. The aircraft has a normal combat radius of about 500 nautical miles with a single internal auxiliary fuel tank fitted up, but they're also able to air-to-air refuel from MC-130 Hercules tankers to give a range of more than 2,000 nautical miles and up to 5 hours of endurance. We can see the new MC-130J version of that type in the static park as well. In now for another fast pass. The main differences between this and the MV-22B operated by the US Marine Corps are that it has more fuel capacity and it has 4 crew instead of 3. On board one of the Air Force examples for a typical mission will be 2 pilots and 2 flight engineers, and it's also got a terrain-following radar to assist in operations in the low-level environment that can be so important. The 352nd Special Operations Wing at Mildenhall took on its first Ospreys in June 2013, and it's resurrected the 352nd's vertical lift capabilities that it had lost in 2007 with the retirement of its long-serving Sikorsky MH-53 Pavlo helicopters. And this is a very versatile aircraft for the Special Ops role. The tilt rotor configuration gives it a wide speed range and better high-altitude capabilities than a helicopter. in for a bit of manoeuvring down towards the right, but it will be coming after this up to crowd centre. You can see the rear ramp is open. And on that ramp can be mounted a .50 machine gun. On this aircraft will also be fitted the hoists and the fast roping equipment that are so important for special ops duties. Forces can deploy by those methods, or they can jump off the rear ramp. Now up to crowd centre for a further bit of manoeuvring.
Background there, you can just about see the vortices coming off of the rotors. I was last in Afghanistan in 2012. I was there for 12 months and based out of Kabul. And we used to do a regular run to one of the forward operating bases, and it was generally 2 hours by Chinook. One day an Osprey turned up and we were there in 40 minutes, so quite a force multiplier. Performed a lot of missions in Afghanistan with both the Marine Corps and US Air Force. The first combat deployment was actually to Iraq in September 2007. And the first Afghanistan deployment began in 2009 with the Marine Corps. Just a month after the Ospreys arrived in theatre, they made their inaugural combat mission when Marines and troops were inserted into a hostile zone in Helmand province. And this is a type that's very versatile indeed. The US Marine Corps Presidential Transport Squadron uses Ospreys to carry support personnel and members of the press corps, and the US Navy is buying 44 Ospreys to replace the aging Grumman C-2 Greyhound in the COD, or Carrier Onboard Delivery role, resupplying the US Navy's aircraft carriers, and further developments are being studied. The manufacturer is looking at a gunship version. It's tested rocket and missile armament. And a new communications suite will turn the Marine Corps Ospreys into a communications gateway, collecting data from different sources and disseminating it to other platforms. The first export customer for the type is the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force, which at about this time last year did a deal to get 5 B-22s for delivery by June 2018, and follow-on export orders are a definite possibility.
Very, very skilled though. Very skilled.
Well, a very spirited performance there by call sign 971, the Bell Boeing CV22B Osprey of the US Air Force's 7th Special Operations Squadron. It's going back to its base at Milton Hall, but don't forget there is an Osprey that you can look at as part of the static park here at Riat 2016.